Good morning, everybody. This is Pip Coleman coming in to do the Find Your Soul show. And today we are going to be braving the weather and moving into our last week of talking about who am I. The topic of who am I was for the month of July. And, let me just turn off my ding-a-lings on the computer. So if you're joining me, say hello from wherever you're coming in and let me know how you're feeling. As I say, today on our topic, our actual topic today is going to be about feeling scared to be who you really are. And we're going to do some shifting and dissolving of that fear today. Yay! So if you would like to join me, we're going to have a little chat about not feeling safe to change, not feeling safe to be who you really are. We're going to do a little bit of a tapping and dissolving meditation around that. And we're going to see how you feel after you've actually done that shifting process. So, hi, good morning, Kerry. Hopefully, let me just click on the video here so that I can see if you're making comments. It's lovely to have you here. And I thought we'd start with the whole concept of when you are really being your true self, when you start to realize that you haven't been your true self, when you are beginning to make those changes, it can feel a little bit overwhelming. It can feel like, oh my gosh, all these thoughts come up about what's going to happen when I change, or what are people going to think, or what if people don't like me when I am the real me as compared to the one that the chameleon. Last week we were talking about being a chameleon. So sometimes these fears and worries come up when we start to do our raising our vibration and shifting work and transformation work. So it's important that you address and honor and acknowledge if you are feeling worried about those shifts and changes into becoming the real you. And that is something that is really important. So one of the things that I found this morning in the wonderful Rebecca Campbell's book, Light is the New Black, she was talking about how you are not for everyone. And that's so interesting because that whole concept of like we were talking about last week, that if you are chameleoning and shifting yourself back and forth and around every time you meet a different person, you're changing to be who they want you to be, then you lose yourself in that process. And so it's really important to be aware that, yes, you are not going to be for everyone, and being the real you is going to be so much more fulfilling as a life strategy than trying to be who everybody else wants you to be. So she says here, the world is filled with people who, no matter what you do, will point blank not like you. But it is also filled with those who will love you fiercely. They are your people. You are not for everyone, and that's okay. Talk to people who can hear you. Don't waste your precious time and gifts trying to convince them of your value. They won't ever get what you're selling. Don't convince them to walk alongside you. You'll be wasting both your time and theirs and will likely inflict unnecessary wounds, which will take precious time to heal. You are not for them and they are not for you. Politely wave them on and continue along your way. Sharing your path with someone is a sacred gift. Don't cheapen this gift by rolling yours in the wrong direction. Keep facing your true north. So that's on page 256 of light is the new black. And I love that concept of not being as concerned about the people who are not your people. And when you are the real you, you start to attract more of your people, more of your tribe. And that's what I've noticed about my journey, is the more that I do the things that are really my true passion and my true joy, the more that I attract people into my space who are my tribe, and the more I can be the real me. So it's a really interesting process to embrace, and it's an exciting process, but it can also be, as I say, it can bring up some fears and worries about change. So the meditation, the tapping meditation that we're going to do today, is around not feeling safe to change and be who you really are. So let's check in first. As always, we like to check in with this particular issue and see what your number, rate your number from 0 to 10 in terms of discomfort around the phrase, it's not safe to change and be who I am. So just check in with your heart, take a deep breath, and just say that phrase, it's not safe to change and be who I am. And just give yourself a number from 0 to 10. And 0 being, it's not true, you feel fine. Or 10 being absolutely true, and I really don't feel safe to change and be who I am because blah, 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 blah. And there'll be a story around that. What will people think? What will people say? What if they don't like me, if I'm the real me? All that stuff. So if your truth level is 5 or more, then this is definitely an issue that you can tap on and shift. So that's fantastic. So this routine will help to shed any discomfort that is surrounding change that you're considering or that you're already in the process of doing. And in essence, it will allow you to flow according with what's happening instead of sinking further into that state of resistance that's been fraying your nerves. And that way we can move and shift and be in our space. So that's cool, Kerry. So you're a 5. That's good. That means that you are in a perfect position to shift your space of resistance. So feel free to put your numbers into the comments if you are watching. Even if you're watching later, I love to be able to interact with you. I can always come back and comment on those and your revelations as well. So let's get started. So let's start by tapping on the karate chop point. Just take a couple of deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, just settling yourself in this space here and now. And as you tap on the karate chop point, repeating after me. Even though it isn't safe for me to change and be the real me, I accept how I feel. Let's take another breath. Even though I won't be able to keep myself safe if I make this change, I'm open to a new perspective. Even though I've been holding myself back from making this change because I feel I have to protect myself, I deeply love and accept myself. Okay, moving to the eyebrow point, tapping on the eyebrow point. It doesn't feel safe to make these changes. Side of the eye. I don't know how to protect myself if I make them. Under the eye. I know it might be painful, under the nose. And I want to protect myself. Chin. I'm not sure how to keep myself safe as I make this change. Collarbone. It might be really hard to keep myself safe. Under the arm. I don't know if I know how to keep myself safe. Top of the head. I don't know if I can learn to keep myself safe. Back to the eyebrow point. It feels as if everything is going to go wrong. Side of the eye. I feel stuck. Under the eye. I feel so torn. Under the nose. I'm afraid about what comes next. Chin. Everything might fall apart. Collarbone. Things will never be the same again. Under the arm. What am I going to do? Top of the head. This is bothering me so much. So just take a deep breath. We're going to continue tapping, but check in with yourself. Maybe put your hand on your heart. Note how you're feeling. Rate your feeling on a scale of 0 to 10. Just make note. It may have gone up. Don't be alarmed if your number goes up a little bit. Sometimes when we're honouring and acknowledging ourselves for the first time, or even for the 100th time, we can feel a little bit more anxious or a little bit more worried to start with. But usually the tapping has calmed that down. So let's return to the eyebrow point. And remember, you want to clear as many of the fearful emotions as possible before we move on to the positive rounds. Eyebrow. I could lose so much if I become the real me. Side of the eye. Everything feels so unstable. Under the eye. What will people think? Under the nose. Am I making a big mistake to show the real me? Chin. I just want everything to stay the same. Collarbone. But I also want to be the real me. Under the arm. I can't cope with this. It's too much pressure. Top of the head. Even if it seems okay at first, it could go badly very quickly. Eyebrow. What am I going to do? Keep breathing. Side of the eye. I just want to feel settled. Under the eye. I just want to feel secure. Under the nose. Maybe this isn't wise of me. Chin. I just wish I wasn't so anxious about being the real me. Collarbone. I'm so worried about shifting to be the real me. Under the arm. I just want this to be easy. Top of the head. I just want to be at peace. Just pop the hand on the heart and just check. Has the fear dissipated at all? Have your nerves settled a bit? Where does the feeling rank on a scale of 0 to 10 now? If it's still pretty strong, then you might want to repeat the last few rounds until it comes down a bit. And then proceed to the positive rounds below. Tap on the eyebrow point. You can always pause the video or go back if you need to and do those rounds, those clearing rounds again. Repeating after me, what if I could be safe and make this change? Side of the eye. What if I have more resources than I thought? Under the eye. Perhaps it's not as hard as I thought. Under the nose. There's a chance I'm already shifting into the real me. I'm already doing it. Chin. Sometimes I do feel more relaxed and truly me. Collarbone. Maybe I can find ways to do that more often. Under the arm. I can make changes and protect myself and be aligned. Top of the head. I love feeling my confidence growing daily. Eyebrow point. Maybe I've been overreacting. Side of the eye. I can be mindful and careful about this change without stressing out. Under the eye. I might even enjoy it, becoming the real me. Under the nose. This might be the very thing I've been waiting on. Chin. My life might be so much better after this. Collarbone. I can relax into this space of being the real me. Under the arm. I already feel calmer. Top of the head. I can feel the pressure slipping away. Eyebrow point. This change might be the best thing that's ever happened to me. Side of the eye. But I won't know if I don't see it through. Under the eye. I choose to allow and accept this change with grace. Under the nose. I feel so much more secure now in being the real me. Chin. I am safe. Collarbone. I am centered and settled. Under the arm. Everything is going to be all right. Top of the head. Everything is just fine. And taking a deep breath. And letting go. Popping the hand on the heart. And check in now. See what your number is from 0 to 10 around the statement, it's not safe to change and be the real me. And then when you're ready, coming back into the space where you started this tapping meditation, this shifting and dissolving, and pop your number into the comments if you would like. Let me know where you are now. That was nice. I'm feeling a lot more calm and relaxed in this space, which is awesome. I'm so glad that I could share that with you today. It's so important at whatever stage you are at when you're doing any shifting work, any personal development, any spiritual growth, to check in with yourself If you feel like you're resisting, it's usually because there's a fear underneath that is bubbling there under the surface around what's going to happen if this change comes into fruition. So it's good to check in, and the tapping is a really great way of honoring exactly where you are, who you are, and your feelings and emotions. And then you can actually move through that and dissolve those feelings in a positive way. So this is cool. So Kerry, you a 3. Okay. You only show your full true self if you feel comfortable with someone. That's great. Yay. So you could probably do, I would say, Kerry, if you want to bring that down to a 0, you could do more of the clearing rounds and before you move into the positive rounds, because 2 is great. Like you were only at a 5 anyway, so moving down to a 3 is fantastic. And if you want to move it down a bit lower so that you can feel comfortable being the real you in all circumstances, then you just need to do a few more of the clearing rounds. So you can always go back and listen to the video. If you feel good at 3, you feel like that's good, then that's great. If you want to go lower, then you can go lower. The great thing is that a shift happened, and that's one of the things that meditation is great. I love meditation. I love, I have my meditation classes that I teach on a Monday night, and that group come together every week. And at the moment, we're doing a series on animal spirit guides. And that's wonderful because each week we know that we're going to be tapping into that energy, and we spend about 30 or 40 minutes diving into that space of that energy. And as a collective group, it's great to be focusing on the same energy at once, because it raises everybody's vibration when you do it as a group. And the other thing is that you can get a very beautiful experience of doing meditation or tapping on your own as well. The cool thing about the tapping is I find that if you're feeling agitated and you can't sit in meditation in any way, like you just really feel like you can't shift into that space of sort of peacefulness, if you just can't even sit still, then the tapping is great for shifting anything that is making you feel agitated. That sort of like irritated energy is usually shifted by doing the tapping, and then you can actually sit or lie down in meditation, and that irritation, that feeling of like feeling is shifted first, and then you can sit in meditation and move more easily into a space of relaxation and openness. The tapping also helps with that awareness, because if we are not aware of what's going on, then you can't shift it. I remember hearing a coach saying that if you are not, it's actually a psychological concept. If you don't know that you don't know, then you can't learn or shift or change it. But once you know and you acknowledge what's going on, and you have that aha moment, even if it's a little aha, it will help you to shift and move, because, that's one of the things that's really important, is being aware. And I know that sometimes it can be a little bit scary to actually look and see what's going on in your space. That is part of the growth process, is to be willing to look at things honestly and to see what there is to see, to feel what there is to feel, and to know what there is to know. That is part of what our journey is all about on this earth. And so I really honor you if you are doing that work at the moment. And if you're watching this show and you're in a community of people like this where we all come together and we share our knowledge, it's wonderful because it means that you are seeking out a tribe to support you in that shifting and changing. So you're welcome, Kerry. It's good to have you here. And anyone else, if you're shifting, if you have any comments about that little tapping that we did today, if you want to take it deeper, here's the thing. Sometimes when we start doing tapping or meditation, or we start reading personal development books, or we begin our journey on our own and we're starting to do that seeking, sometimes we feel like we get to a point where we get stuck and we feel like we need help. We need someone to help us to take it to that next level. It's like you get to the basement and then you go, I don't know how to go any further than this. And you need the special key. You need someone else to help you unlock so that you can go down to the lower basement and then, basement 1, 2, 3, 4, so that you can unpeel the onion and really know what the nugget is that's underneath everything. One of the things that Rebecca Campbell talks about in her book, Light is the New Black, is that your greatest fear is the gatekeeper to your highest calling. And that's so interesting to me, that concept of the thing that is your biggest challenge is actually the thing you need to overcome to step into your calling. And that's a concept that Jean Hainer talks about in her book, Your Hidden Symmetry, which is amazing, and I've put it somewhere safe, so I can't show you the cover. But Jean does a version of numerology with a twist, bringing in that concept of feng shui, and it's amazing, amazing. I use it as part of my coaching program to understand, for people to understand and know themselves really deeply. You need to know what it is that your challenge is, your greatest fear, so that you can move through that, so that you can dissolve it and step into your true self, your true calling. So that's really cool. I love that concept that the higher your calling, the more fear you probably have around it. It's annoying, but it's true. So when we step into our biggest, brightest, most expanded self, our core fear is always triggered. Core fears are triggered by a childhood experience, and our ego uses these experiences as evidence that we are separate and alone in this world. You are not separate. You are not alone. It's really interesting. And that is on page 144 of Light is the New Black, if you want to refer to that at a later date. So my time is up again. It always flies by when I'm here talking to you. So if you have any questions, if you want to share with me your shift when you did the tapping, if you don't want to share it in the comments publicly, then please feel free to send me a private message. If you had an aha, that'd be amazing. I'd love to talk to you. And if you feel that you are stuck and you got to the basement level, but you want to go a little bit deeper and really shift, then you might like to talk to me about my Divine Alignment coaching program, which taps into earth angels who want to shift and change themselves at a deeper level. If you're feeling stuck, frustrated, not really aligned to your true self, and you need somebody to help you give you the key, then the Divine Alignment code might be for you. So come and see me over at Pip Coleman Author Coach, or you can go to my website, pipcoleman.com. I'd love to see you there. Thanks for having me. Lovely to see you all. Have a great week. Next week we start a whole new topic, and that is all about curiosity. August is the month of being a curious soul. This is going to be fun. I look forward to seeing you then. Take care, everyone. See you soon.